Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Auto Club here for race number 5 of 10 in the second season of the Black Mesa Truck Series. Getting ready for today's 63 laps of racing, and I just now realized the temperature is on that number, bleep. So we get to smack NR for that with a frying pan. Anyway, we're getting ready to go racing here at Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. If you saw qualifying this morning, Brian James gets his first pole on the season. He starts on the pole position for today's 63 lap race, which these drivers cannot make it 63 laps on one tank of fuel. Brian James, with his result last time out, dropped 3 spots down to 35th in the points. Been a really struggling season. Alongside the driver who just made the playoffs in the Winston Cup Series, Cody Smart. He's also the points leader coming in this race. And I also should remind everybody Cody Smart is still on probation for the rest of the season. Should point that out. Anna Steiner in row number 2. Of course, Anna Steiner is going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series for next season. Really excited for her, our birthday bash winner. 25th in the points, dropped 6 spots after last time out's race at Phoenix. And alongside of her is Santi Messi in the number 95 machine. Santi is 5th in the points table. As we're going to go ahead and show you the rest of the starting lineup for today's race. Let's go over the top 10 points before the trucks roll off, presented by Golden Crowd because the engines have been fired. Cody Smart is the points leader by 21 points over Christian Williams, who's also the rookie points leader. Sean Art, Senior Sean, who recently, which I didn't bring this up in qualifying, Sean Art, who was recently eliminated from the Winston Cup playoffs, he's third in the standings. 30 points back. Second of the Rookie of the Year standings is Mohamed Zain, who's fourth. Santi Messi, we mentioned, is fifth. He's 43 points back. Futaba Sakura. Hold on, before I derp. Get back on the. Yep, Sakura. I was correct. She is sixth in the standings, 44 points back. Molly Laurel is 45 points back in seventh, tied with David Heller, who's eighth. Bora Park dropped 6 spots down to ninth in the standings, and 5 spots drop was Dylan Ebrahimian. He will complete the top 10 as the trucks are now rolling off the grid. Jesse Art also made the Craftsman Truck Series playoffs. As Brian James is now leading the field. They've just took the one to go, they've already took the one to go signal. So we're gonna go green next time by. If you did not weren't with us for pole day qualifying, Callie Burke has been placed on a 3-race probation for the incident that happened 2 weeks ago at Phoenix International Raceway, which I can bet you a lot of people were not too happy with her after what happened last time out. So there you go. "63 laps of racing. These drivers cannot make it 63 laps on a tank of fuel." This is the home track, by the way, of Nathan Ormond, Courtney Lynn. You can count her as a home track for her. Of course, Courtney Lynn just recently got eliminated from making it into the playoffs for Winston Cup, despite making it in the top 30 in points. So I hope Courtney Lynn gets a win here today, just to prove everybody that really she does deserve to make the playoffs for season 2. Green flag is in the air. We're underway here at Auto Club Speedway. As Anna Steiner wasting no time to getting into the lead of the race. Here comes Jesse Art in the 33. She drives the number 11 Hooters Ford F Series in the Craftsman Truck Series. And she will lead us through 3 and 4. She will more than likely lead the first lap of the race. Jesse Art goes into the first race of the round of 10 in the 8th seed, 8th in the points. She finished in that critical 20th position in the points as Shane Lake now takes the lead. Shyla Askarov, Abigail Furling, Aaron Hornish, Curtis Glover all did not make the playoffs over in the Craftsman Truck Series, but they'll look to finish up what has been a struggling season for those drivers. As there's Michael Brown, who was recently eliminated from the Craftsman Truck Series playoffs. Of course, he will be still going to get a win for Nathan Orman, nevertheless. Michael Brown had to win at Daytona to get into the playoffs. Did not do that, unfortunately, for him and Carlos Rodriguez. Ingrid Pollard also did not make the playoffs. She was eliminated from the playoffs. That's Grace Takayama making her second start. There's Courtney Lynn. She was recently eliminated from the Winston Cup playoffs. And Takayama will lead a lap. There's the aforementioned Courtney Lynn. So there's Callie Burke. She's on probation for 3 races, so hopefully she will be a little bit better this week here at Auto Club. There's Quentin Moore, going to be in the Busch Series next season. Going to have to attempt to qualify next season in the Busch Series. I don't know if he was in any of the, whether he was in Craftsman Trucks, Busch, or Winston Cup. I'm actually going to go double check that. I'll have to double check that to be sure. I don't think he was. And looks like he wasn't. Callie Burke will now lead that lap. Quentin Moore will be a rookie, by the way, next season. There's Futaba Sakura. Excuse me. Futaba Sakura. Started dead last. She's already clawed her way up to 4th. Kiefer Quimby. There's Maria Steiner. That was a close call for Courtney Lynn. In turn number 1, excuse me. By the way, I have soda in my... I'm drinking soda, so if you hear me burping, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I know Sean's going to send me in the figures deal. There's the defending series champion, Skylar Taylor. Boy, that's really tight. That was Ingrid Pollard. Made it 4 wide. Shane Lake, and that's one of the Tricon Garage. That's Evelyn Gray, I think, Ellie Rose, sorry. In the 15. That was too close for comfort. Carlos Rodriguez, there he is. He's another home driver from here at California. He was another driver who also, like Ingrid Pollard, like Courtney, like Sean Art, who recently got eliminated from the playoffs. And I did want to correct something I said last time out at Phoenix. I said the Craftsman Truck Series were at Watkins Glen. They were actually at Sonoma. So, want to correct one thing I said. And before any of you say nice dirt, Danny, let me go ahead and just tell you for Phoenix, that race was recorded at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just giving you an FYI. So that tells you how bad my sleep schedule is. But that's fine. There's Kiefer Quimby. Also, I should mention, Courtney Lynn got her contract extension with Nathan Orman done. Brenda Eveling, who we will see her next season in Winston Cup. Probably going to be in the Busch Series, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Courtney's sister, Abigail, is going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series next season. Of course, we're going to have 53 Craftsman Truck Series drivers for next season, all vying for the 42 starting spots. That means 11 drivers next season will be going home every week. Courtney Lynn is also going to be using this race as a test race along with Michael Brown. Oh, we had some skid marks. Is the caution out? Oh, it's Sarah Thomas who's come to pit road. The caution is not out, but problems for the Hill Motorsports driver of Sarah Thomas, no relationship to Annie Thomas, who also got eliminated. Of course, Annie Thomas was also inconsistent as far as her consistency in the second half of the regular season. So there you go. But something happened to the 56, and I bet those skid marks had something to do with turn number 1. Michael Brown going to go to the inside. I think for Michael Brown, Courtney Lynn, I think if they could win at their home track at Auto Club for Nathan Orman, I think that would be good confidence for them going into season 2, because Michael Brown, he's had an okay season. He just hasn't been to victory lane. This young lady, on the other hand, Courtney Lynn, she's had a miserable season. Yes, she did go to victory lane, but as I talked about in qualifying this morning, was not high enough in points. Missed the playoffs by 8 spots. She would have had to have finished 8 spots ahead. Or no, she would have had to finish 9 spots ahead. She did not do that. Unfortunately for her, it was not enough to make it into one of the 16 playoff spots. So I think for Courtney Lynn and Michael Brown, those two, they would love to win Auto Club just to be proud of themselves. In particular, Courtney Lynn, because she's already had a struggling season. And the bad part for Courtney Lynn, we mentioned this in in pole day qualifying this morning, excuse me. She was in the critical 30th in the standings. That was a heartbreaker. And I'll go ahead and say this. I feel more sorry to Courtney Lynn than I feel sorry to Zachary Taylor, because Zachary Taylor, that's what he gets for being a bozo. Just my opinion. And I think Orman would agree. I feel bad morely for Courtney Lynn than I do feel bad for Zachary Taylor. And I mean, after last week's race at 8 Ball, Courtney Lynn was absolutely dejected and heartbroken. And knowing Courtney Lynn, she always will grab Nathan Orman and hug him rather, and apologize because you got to feel so sorry for Courtney Lynn. Looks like Sarah Thomas has gotten herself back out on the racetrack. Looks like she is off the lead lap. She is now 2 laps down. If we do get a caution, we will look back at a replay to find out what did not bring out the caution. As Senor Sean's going to go to the lead. Senor Sean's another driver who also was recently eliminated from the Winston Cup playoffs. Unlike Courtney Lynn, who did get a win, Senor Sean did not find victory lane. He had to win at 8 Ball to get into the playoffs. He didn't do that. And he finished the regular season 25th in the points. And of course, after the reformatted points were put together, he is now 26 in points. So Sean's going to have to just Sean's going to be one of those other drivers who I just talked about. He would love to go to victory lane and finish the season as best he could in the Winston Cup Series. As far as this series is concerned, the Black Mesa Truck Series, Senor Sean is doing a lot better. He's 3rd in points. So I'm really not sure if it was the inconsistency or just not getting the good equipment for the Ultra Motorsports team. That's the team he's driving in Winston Cup. Or if Rackley Wars provided him good equipment and Ultra Motorsports wasn't. Whatever the case it might be, that's something I think he'll definitely have to sort out going in the offseason, heading into season 2 of Winston Cup. Of course, he will be back in the 7 because he's in the Winston Cup Series. So, as Quentin Moore, well, I don't know if he'll lead this lap. Here comes Ingrid Pollard in the 90. We talked about Senor Sean, who was inconsistent who had to win to get in the playoffs and didn't make it. Neither did Ingrid Pollard. Ingrid is 18th in the points. Ingrid Pollard had to win at Daytona to get into the playoffs. She didn't do that. And she was consistent. She was like Carlos Rodriguez, Michael Brown. They were consistent. They just could not find victory lane. That was the problem. As Helga Gunnarsson has taken the race lead. That was the problem for Ingrid Pollard, by the way, who is a former champion in the AutoZone Amateur Series. There's Ellie Rose in the 15. Of course, Ellie Rose finished her season in the M&M's Cup Series. Ellie Rose finished that season 25th in the points, never found victory lane in that series. I know Richard Childress Racing's been talking about having Ellie Rose in the Busch Series, but again, we'll see what team owner Jacob Foster will do as far as plans for that series is concerned. Ellie Rose comes into this race 31st in the points. She's had a tough season, so this lap lead is going to be really good for her. It's also good for Helga Gunnarsson in the 7, who comes in this race 20th in the points in that Gamebridge Chevrolet out of Spire Motorsports. There's been rumors about Spire Motorsports shutting down their truck team. However, I've not seen any post as far as that's concerned as I'm recording this race. So we will have to wait and see. The rumors just need to keep it down on what they need to say on social media. Helga Gunnarsson, currently the race leader right now. And the 5 has taken the race lead. That is Sakura. That's her first lap lead today. Remember, Sakura started at the rear of the field. She's already clawed her way up into the lead of the race as she's battling with Michael Brown. And remember, Sakura is in the top 10 of the points. 6 to be exact. She's another driver who's trying to run down Christian Williams for the Rookie of the Year points lead. I know team owner Jacob Foster has been encouraging me to make sure I say her name correctly, which I have done so. And if we can get, and if Futaba does let me start that over. If Futaba does run in one of the Craftsman Trucks or Bush series, I think she's going to be one of two Japanese drivers we're going to have, I think, in either Trucks or Bush. I think there's going to be three. So Futaba would not be the first driver to be would not be the first Japanese driver. Of course, remember we have Tiko Jumiaka, who won the championship in the retired Coca-Cola Truck Series. So Japanese drivers have had good success on this channel. Of course, Tiko became the first Japanese driver to win the championship in what was then the Coca-Cola Truck Series for the PCS. Right now, we're doing the World Racing Association Craftsman Truck Series, or the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, powered by the World Racing Association. So Futaba would love to be the first female driver from Japan to win a championship. Helga Gunnarsson from Iceland. Michael Brown. Derek Green. Ellie Rose. Matt Boyle, he is 6th. Daniel Gitteroth is 7th. He will be in the Craftsman Truck Series full-time next season. I'll have to see what ride I put him in for the Truck Series for Craftsman Trucks. Gitteroth comes into this race 29th in the points, dropped 9 spots after last time out's race. And remember, I promised team owner Samit Oskin I would reserve his driver's ride, so as Sarah Thomas is still off the pace due to the damage she received. While this is going on, since we haven't had a caution yet, I was thinking while Futaba is leading this race, we should go ahead, jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Sarah Thomas, why she is off the lead lap, because it did not bring out a yellow. Well, I thought we were going to go ahead, jump back, look at a replay, but these drivers are getting crazy back here. Boy, they're nearly 5 wide. 5 wide at Auto Club is a death sentence waiting to happen. We may not look back at a replay. We may end up having a caution. Ooh, that was close there. Nathan Orman almost got turned. That could have been big. Oh, Sean and Jesse are almost 4 wide with Mitchell Hodak and Carlos Rodriguez. Oh, the 2's on pit road. So Callie Burke has had troubles. Unless this is a pit stop. And now she's going to fall a lap down in the process. So while this lead is going on, let's go ahead, jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Sarah Thomas in the 56 as we're nearing the midway point of today's race here at Auto Club. So this was all the way back on lap number 9. It's like a 4 wide situation. It looks like Samit Oskin got into Dylan James, and that's what spun the Units Toyota into the wall. The bad news for Sarah Taylor, Sarah Thomas, was that because this was at the rear of the field, the officials did not throw the caution. Otherwise, we would have had our first caution of the day. So, really a tough break for Sarah Thomas. Did not get a caution. Now she's a lap down or off the lead lap as a result. And she could not afford a poor finish, 30th in the standing. So a tough break for her in that number 56. So that is what happened to the 56, why she's off the lead lap. Let's get back to live action here at Auto Club. Welcome back to Auto Club as Futaba Sakura has retook the race lead. As they're about to catch Sarah Thomas. Let me also investigate what happened to the two, why she came to pit. Wonder, was this a scheduled pit stop? Yep, flat tire, I would assume. So it looks like she can make it the rest of the way. Because we're not too far away from pit stops. I also should point that out. These drivers back here have been super aggressive with each other. As there's the 88. Caution! Helga Gunnarsson, Kiefer Quimby, Sophia Woodward have crashed. Caution is out. That was not what Callie Burke and the two wanted to see. Because now she's been trapped a lap down as a result. And that's really going to hurt the two. Callie Burke was hoping this thing would go into a green flag run for her to get back on the lead lap, but that is not going to happen. So that pit stop has trapped her a lap down as a result. So what an untimely yellow for the two bunch. And it looks like we're going to have our pit stops. Yes, we are. Everybody's going to come to pit road. So the first incident that did not bring out the caution happened. And now we have our second incident that did bring out the yellows. So while Michael Brown leads the field to pit road, let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened. Wow, Ormy's up to third, but let's go back and see what happened to the 7 and the 71 and the 13. Well, the way these drivers were racing like crazy, this was definitely a reason why the yellow came out. See, they had plenty of room here. See, the 7 has a lot of room on the 99. The 13 is in the middle of a spire sandwich. And I don't know if the 7 came, or if the 13 came down or the 7 came up. Whatever the case, all three of them took each other into the wall. That's not good for Spire because remember, the 7 and the 71 are teammates, even though the 13 was wedged in the Spire Motorsport sandwich. A lot of damage to the Gamebridge Chevrolet of Helga Gunnarsson. A lot of damage to the Quintana Ford F-Series of Kiefer Quimby. A lot of damage to the Hendrick Cars Chevrolet of Sophia Woodward. Helga Gunnarsson, who led a good part of this race today, 12th in points for Sophia Woodward. She's been on a free fall ever since she won the season opener. Helga Gunnarsson, 20th in the standings. And Kiefer Quimby did not need a bad finish. He was way down, 33rd in the points as far as the full-time drivers. So all three of them did not need this. So this is going to hurt them in the points as we're going to head to the restart here at Auto Club. Going to go back to green on lap number 40 of 63 as we just had our first yellow of the day. In the result, everybody has returned to the racetrack. Sarah Thomas is 3 laps down. Callie Burke is now 2 laps down because she just got put a second lap down by Michael Brown under the yellow. And as I said, it did trap her a lap down because she was going to be on the tail end of the lead lap, but that is not going to happen as far as that is concerned. So all 42 drivers are going to take the restart, 40 of them on the lead lap. Top 10 as we go back to green. Michael Brown is leading. Futaba Sakura is in second. Quentin Moore third. Nathan Orman fourth. Lauren Grubius is fifth. 6th, Mark Games. 7th, Grace Takayama. Derek Green 8th. Ingrid Pollard 9th. And 10th is Dave James. That's going to be a big blow to Sophia Woodward. Hopefully she can regroup going into our next race. That will be, by the way, in 2 weeks because the Black Mesa Truck Series drivers will join up with the Craftsman Trucks and the Busch drivers. So this guy is going to be doing double duty along with Jesse Art in 2 weeks' time as they're going to be at IRP. Ironically, that's the same weekend we will have the elimination race for Busch and Winston Cup, and the 2 is off the pace. I thought the 2 had a tire going down. Looks like it's more than a tire problem. I wonder if she has a mechanical problem because she is dreadfully slow on this restart. She just got up to 4th gear in turn number 3. I don't see any damage on the 2. I wonder if a piston or something has let go on that truck. Sarah Thomas, we know she's off the pace due to the damage from the incident earlier in the race. So there you go. Which, by the way, we were just talking about our motorsports calendar. Of course, this being race number 5, which is Auto Club. As I said, we'll see these drivers in 2 weeks. Rest of the weekend, we're at Chicagoland. We got Craftsman Truck Series racing on Friday, the Busch race on Saturday, the Winston Cup on Sunday. We're going playoff racing at the Chicagoland Speedway. Next week, Red Bull GT Series drivers. This is going to be a date you need to keep an eye on. Red Bull GT Series drivers will join up with the Cup drivers on a fun weekend. We'll have pole day qualifying on Saturday for the Red Bull GT Series drivers. They'll go racing Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have the Winston Cup race on Sunday. That will be the first race of the round of, the second race of the round of 16, And then, as I mentioned, the following week, these drivers, the Black Mesa Truck Series, they will run on Thursday. They will have qualifying on Wednesday night. They'll run their race Thursday as they'll kick off Indianapolis weekend as they will be their 6th race of the year. Then we'll have the Craftsman Truck Series and the Busch Series back together as they will have their first race of their second race of the first round, as that was a damage glitch on the 5. If you see the 5 have a spoil look like that, that's a damage glitch, by the way. There we go. Because the 5 is up to speed. But Craftsman Trucks and Busch have their second race of the first round. Winston Cup on Sunday, it's our first elimination race. And when the checker flag waves at Indianapolis, we will have 4 drivers getting eliminated from the championship. Before the following week, this series will be off, and we will be having Red Bull at April, and then Craftsman Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup at Pocono, where we have our first elimination races for Trucks and Busch. It'll be the first race of the second round for the Winston Cup drivers. So that's what's coming up around the motorsports world here this weekend. Michael Brown is back into the lead of the race. It's like the 713 and 71 are off the pace due to the damage they got. There's Nathan Orman running in third. Of course, Ormy's going to be full time in the Winston Cup Series because he's going to replace the now banned Zachary Taylor. Of course, Zachary Taylor is going to finish up season one of Winston Cup, and then he'll be banned from racing in on this channel ever again. I know there's going to be some questions about what happens if Zachary Taylor wins a race as far as, in the second half of the season. Would he be eligible for the All Star race? I was told by the World Racing Association that he will not be eligible for the All Star race because of the fact he has been banned. We've decided that he doesn't deserve to be in the All Star race. So that decision has already been made. So even if Zachary Taylor finds victory lane, it's not going to matter. It means he will not be locked into the All Star race for next season. And plus, we're not going to give it to another driver who is also not going to be, you know, that's something we're going to definitely discuss about in the offseason. What's going to happen if a driver gets banned from the channel and what happens to their status for the All Star race, if you know what I mean. As here comes Brian James, our pole sitter to the race lead. Brian's had a very quiet race here today. Skylar Taylor to the race lead. Critical points for Skylar Taylor since she is the defending series champ. Skylar Taylor comes into this race. If I can find her in the standings, she is 19th in the points, 11 spots gain after Phoenix last time out. There's Maria Steiner in the 22. I'm trying to get to the 22, but the dumb game don't want me to get to the 22. There she is. There's Evelyn Gray in the 17. Haven't talked much about Maria Steiner recently, so that's good. Of course, she's getting ready to pass her teammate, Callie Burke, who was off the pace, so Callie Burke goes another lap down. This is also the last race. Callie Burke's going to run the black numbers on that truck. She'll run white numbers for the final 5 races of the season. As we're now inside of 10 laps of racing to go. Want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV. Want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Evelyn Gray now takes the lead. This is the 56 they're coming up on. That's Sarah Taylor. Or Sarah Thomas, excuse me. It'll be called Sarah Taylor in the Red Bull GT Series. However, I'm still going to say Skylar Taylor because... Also, that was close back there. Evelyn Gray almost turned the 56 into the wall. That would have been ugly right there. Because the 56 about chopped off the JBL Toyota. As Matt Boyle currently the race leader. Let me start that over. My roommates, by the way, got home. That would be Steven and Andre. I was the only one at the house because, well, 1, Steven and Andre had to work. 2, Brian's still at work for another on his last hour. And 3, shockingly, Mario, my other roommate, is at work. So I had the whole house to myself for a few hours, which is fine by me because I like quiet and peace and quiet. And I just finished my work week yesterday as of this recording. David Heller. He's had a quiet day today. Of course, we haven't talked much about David Heller. Of course, he's glad that he doesn't have to deal with the drama with TCC. Of course, that server's been causing a lot of drama the last couple of months. David 8th in the points, as he's also another driver who's trying to run down for the points lead of Cody Smart. And are we having pit stops or no? I thought somebody was coming to pit road for a second, unless I was just seeing things. I thought somebody came to pit road. Looks like they didn't. Okay. I was seeing things then. Cody Smart, 18th. Of course, he came in this race as the points leader. The good news is for Cody Smart, the guy that was trying to run him down for the points lead, running in 30th. Christian Williams, second in points. And looks like there's an issue with the 90 of Ingrid Pollard because she scored 4 laps down. So not entirely sure what was wrong with the 90 of Ingrid Pollard. Sophia Woodward is now 5 laps down. Oh, she's come to pit road. Oh, it looks like mechanical failure because you don't hear anything on the engine of the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. So it looks like I wonder if her day is done. Caution! Eric Sadler has crashed. Michael Brown has crashed. That's going to end the race. That is going to end the race. As they have just taken the white flag, that's going to end the race. And David Heller is going to win at Auto Club if he can make it back. Wow. So it looks like Sophia Woodward had engine problems because when we went on board with her, the truck, there was no power on that Spire 71. So I wonder when she hit that wall, I wonder if it broke like a piston or broke something in the drivetrain and it just shut off the engine. That's a tough break. Why is Jacob Foster coming to pit road? Oh, don't tell me they have to make pit stops. Oh, this could get screwy in a hurry. Looks like Jacob Foster might be out of fuel. Oh! And he's going to have to give up third. Oh, no. Dave James could not make it, but it looks like David Heller is going to make it because we're going to take the checker flag, and David Heller is going to win at Auto Club in bizarre fashion. Oh my God. We got to figure out. Before we get to your official results, let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Michael Brown and Eric Sadler. Then we'll take you to your official results here at Auto Club. Well, here it was. This was with 2 to go. You knew with this 4-wide racing it was going to happen sooner or later. And it looks like Eric Sadler just got hooked by Michael Brown, tipped both drivers into the wall. That's what ended the race. Pretty significant damages to both the Menards Ford F-Series and the Love's Travel Stops Country Stores Ford F-Series of Eric Sadler. Michael Brown, 14th in the points. This was not what he needed. Eric Sadler, who came into this race 26th in the points, he's not even going to finish this race. So that's a tough break for those drivers. So that's what brought out our second and final caution of the day. Let's take you to your official finisher results here at Auto Club. Well, David Heller's already pulled into victory lane. Good job to him as he gets the win. He also got rookie of the race. Congratulations to him. Brian James gets second. So started on the pole, had a quiet run, got a good finish out of that. Brian James came into this race. Let me see where Brian James, 35th. So this is a well-needed run for him. Senor Sean had a quiet day in third. He was third in the points, so he gained points on Cody Smart after today's race, but only by 5 positions. Cody finished in 8th. Mark Games got 4th. Jacob Foster was going to finish 3rd, fell all the way down to fifth after he had to come to pit road and ran out of fuel, but made it across the start finish line. So, nevertheless, he'll still get a top five, and that's a well needed top five for him. Ellie Rose will get six. Ellie 31st on the points, another driver who needed a well needed run. Derek Green comes home in seventh. He came into this race, as I'm looking for the 99. And apparently, he was 22nd in points, dropped 9 spots down to 22nd after last week. He'll finish seventh. Good result for him. Cody Smart, I mentioned, got 8. Carlos Rodriguez got 9. So, Carlos, definitely a good result for a driver 1 week after he got eliminated from making it into the playoffs. But still a good result for him. Carlos came into this race 21st in the points, dropped 11 spots after last time out's race at Phoenix, so this will get him back up through the points table. Matt Boyle will complete the top 10 in the number 98 machine. So a good run for ThorSport. Got 2 of their trucks in the top 10. Matt Boyle, 28th in the points. He's going to continue to climb his way through the points table. Mohammed Zain, Quinton Moore, Carmen Alejandro, Maria Steiner, Santi Messi completed the top 15. A lot of drivers really didn't have good results today. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, I think it had to do with the timing of that caution, as far as that is concerned. A lot of drivers really didn't have good result. Lauren Grubius, who was inside the top 10 for most of this race, unfortunately 31st. That's a shame for her. Nathan Orman dropped all the way to 35th. He was third when we took the restart, so I'm not entirely sure what really happened to Nathan Orman. That's a tough break for him. And I also need to throw a disclaimer. Do not complain in the comments about, I'm going to leave this series, blah, 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 or else you will regret it. Just a FYI if you do it in the Discord. I'm just putting that out. Or me if you're watching this. Michael Brown did not reach the conclusion. He fell out of the race. Same with Eric Sadler. Kiefer Quimby did finish the race. Nathan Orman, by the way, was the last car to finish on the lead lap. Callie Burke, Sarah Thomas, Ingrid Pollard, and Sophia Woodward also did not reach the conclusion of the race. It looks like engine troubles took her out of this race after she was involved in our caution. Callie Burke had mechanical problems, never recovered. Sarah Thomas got involved in an incident, never recovered, came home in the 40th position. So 35 finished the race, 36, 37, 38, 39 of the 42 starters finished the race. 3 drivers did not reach the conclusion. As I said, Michael Brown, Eric Sadler, and Sophia Woodward. But other than that, that is how Auto Club is going to end here today. But I can tell you this is going to have a major point shakeup heading into next week's race. Oh, Sean beat Jesse, so Sean's going to do the ha-ha to Jesse later, which I know that's going to happen. But hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Auto Club. Congratulations to David Heller on the win. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into our next race. That will be in 2 weeks at IRP, as the Black Mesa Truck Series drivers will join up with the Craftsman Trucks and the Busch drivers at Indianapolis at IRP, while the Winston Cup drivers head across town, get ready for their first elimination race. Before that, we have the playoff opener for Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup. Hopefully, this guy can get a good result. This guy can get a good result. Hopefully, this one can have a much better result today. Courtney Lynn finished in 25th. Hopefully, this is not a sign of things to come. Hopefully, this lady right here can get something good to start off her playoff hopes in the Truck Series as well. So we'll see what happens in our next race in 2 weeks at IRP, as we'll start Chicagoland for all 3 series, Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup. All green flags will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then next week, we have Red Bull GT Series pairing up with the Winston Cup drivers at 2 different tracks. Pole day qualifying at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Red Bull GT Series. Then we'll have the Winston Cup Series second race of the first round at Michigan at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before the following week, we will not have the Red Bull GT Series drivers. We'll have the Black Mesa Truck Series drivers kick off our Indy weekend. They will run Thursday night. Qualifying for them will be Wednesday. And then we will have Craftsman Truck Series second race of the first round, Busch Series race second race of the first round, and the Winston Cup Series, their first elimination race, where 4 drivers will get eliminated from the championship. Hope you'll join us for all the racing we got coming up. Until IRP, I've been D DeVoe signing off. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. Coming up next, it's the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. You've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.